What is going on? Today's topic is what are my work visa options as an international student? Friends, welcome to Green Card Guys TV. I'm your host John Ting, here to solve your immigration problems and hopefully prevent it from happening in the first place. Well, we have some hot news I just want to share with you real quick. And there's been some unfortunate situations with one of my clients where they gave me permission to share is that they received a visa refusal. And it was actually a visa refusal. It wasn't one of those where they didn't actually make a decision yet. We had sued the government, mandamus lawsuit. I think it was about 3 months ago. Yeah, I just looked at it 3 months ago. I just chatted with them, and y'all need to know this because there's news out there recently of you may have heard of a balloon incident in the news. I think it happened on Friday or Saturday, but either way, it was definitely less than a week, at least when the media shared it with us. And when we sued the government, I'm not going to share too much detail. I'm not going to tell you which court or anything, which location, but anyway, the U.S. attorney, corresponded. It appeared that how he phrased things before, this balloon incident, that our client was going to get the visa issued, and it was a work visa. Okay, it's not family based; it is employment based. And to give you an idea, the work visa petition was already approved a year ago, last February, I believe. And why I'm sharing this right now, I'm going to go in more detail tomorrow as well. But basically, I need your help, folks, to crowdsource, information, because people are affected by government decisions, government politics, more specifically. That because of politics and the news and the media, that unfortunately some immigrant applicants or non-immigrant applicants are affected, even though that person didn't actually do anything or didn't do anything wrong. But I guess I also mention this because it's really hot right now. It's recent news. There are possible options, but it is better in the sense that if more people are unfortunately in the same scenario, yes, the client is from the PRC, China, and so I would suspect that to crowdsource is with people that are affected are people from China. But of course, there's other people affected from a different country, but maybe a similar situation because what they claim national security reasons, then please contact us. Also, I'll probably ask my team to create a website or a form specific to this scenario, so we can help each other out, because it is difficult to fight these cases when it's just one person, when it's related to alleged national security reasons. We need more people involved, included in the case, and then we call it class action. So if you happen to know anyone in this kind of scenario, or they're Chinese national and they're abroad, have an application pending, keep an eye out for us, or tell them to keep an eye out on our channel, greencardguys.tv, and stay tuned, because I've been given permission to try to crowdsource and we can work together. All right, so more information will come soon. But to the topic of the day, what are my work visa options as an international student? The most common one is, well, there's two common ones, and one of them is to OPT, optical training, optical practicum training, OPT, and you get a work permit. Okay, if it's STEM, you have a fairly long period of time, at least 18 months. I think they extended to 24 months. But you want to take the opportunity to get registered for H-1B, okay? And of course, this is assuming that your occupation fits as a specialty occupation. But don't give up. Even if you don't think it qualifies as a specialty occupation, don't make that decision for yourself, okay? And the reason I'm saying if you like, yeah, registration is coming up in the first 2 weeks of March. And I know it's kind of strange, but you might think, well, who the heck is going to sponsor me when I have not graduated yet? I know it's weird. We don't, the old way of doing things, I'm just going to, I think it was at least 5 years ago. It was just called the H-1B lottery. I still think it's a lottery because it's randomly selected. But the thing is that you can't, because back then it was saying that you need to, lawyers or whoever, if they did it themselves, provide all the evidence. So in that situation would be the degree. So it wouldn't make sense back then to do it that way. So finally they changed the process, and so that even though you register now, we do it online. It only costs $10 to the government, or pay the government $10. We charge $7.99 to do this first step, but if you get selected in registration, then we charge a little bit more to do the next step. And if you do get selected in registration, that doesn't mean that you're going to be approved automatically. You still have to do step 2, and that is to, the attorneys or law firm will help prepare, organize and make sure all the documents are the correct documents that need to provide for H-1B. All right. And sometimes the documents you might provide to the law firm might be too much, but it's good to have it. We always like to filter through it and make sure, because sometimes the government doesn't need all that. Okay. We don't want to give them too much. We want to make sure they have sufficient amount of information to approve it. And then your start date is October 1st. All right. There are some exceptions where you don't have to wait until March to do the lottery, or even if you do the March lottery, it just depends on if the employer is a nonprofit or religious institution, for example. There's a couple different, like 3 total. But of course, you're welcome to ask, even though I have a topic of the day, you're always welcome to ask a question, drop in the comments, because I think it's always important to get you the accurate information. Okay, folks, because, you can look online, sometimes online, like a attorney blog or just random blog that's maybe not by a lawyer, law firm. It might not say everything you need to know, right? Like a USCIS instructions, if you look up like the petition for a family-based petition, it's not going to tell you that you need to, or it may now, but at least last time anyway, it might not tell you that you could file the 765, the 131, or even the 485. You got to figure, or the 864 affidavit sponsor, you got to figure that stuff out yourself, right? So that's why a lawyer is helpful. I mean, again, I can't say every lawyer's good in that sense, but we have a checklist. Depends on the case. Every case we have a checklist, which, by the way, if you wonder why we have checklist, aside from the obvious, check out this book called Checklist Manifesto. It was created because of, when surgeons forgot tools in people's body during surgery. So you would think, in surgery, there's so many tools being used. So you can imagine at post-surgery, you're like, I feel sick. I don't know if it's a tool in my freaking body. Yeah. So that's why that book was created. So we use that. We use the inspiration of that book to have our own checklist. Let's see what else. So even if you're about to have OPT or you've not graduated yet, you want to go ahead and find a sponsor, okay, an employer. Get on it, okay? I think most of y'all who are foreign nationals in school right now, you're going to get your degree, whether it's undergraduate, get your bachelor's or a master's. I think you're already familiar with this, but just in case for those folks that are not familiar, I know it's strange because you typically graduate in May here in America, but you can get registered, and you have to get registered in March. So you really have to be forward thinking for the future. And that, again, folks, that's why we're here on this channel, to share this information. If you have any questions, welcome to drop in the comments. I just started a webinar series just yesterday on LinkedIn. So if you want to find more information about certain case types, you're all welcome to go and connect with me on LinkedIn, or go to which I think if you just type my name in LinkedIn, John Ting, you'll probably find it. I try to keep the same picture on the profile so everyone can find the right one. Let's see what else. But we'll have some So we can send some invites out for the webinar for a specific situation. We'll go into more detail. And but the reason is because I had a client where wanted me to register for the OPT. I mean, I'm sorry, not the OPT. The foreign national applicant was on OPT, but it was on the second year, towards the second year of it, just timing wise. He or she could have been registered the year before. So it's all about knowledge. Can't, of course, that's why we're here again on these channels to share this information, that as soon as you are able to, even before OPT, which OPT would be after graduation in this sense, you can register before, okay? So, because that's in March. You graduate in May, typically. And some people graduate in December, so it's different, right? So it's a little bit different. But again, the key thing is that people think they need the actual physical diploma or degree, which you do, but you don't need that for March registration. Okay. And really, if also like that former client that we helped out, they weren't selected. Okay. That was a couple years ago. Fortunately, last year we got a pretty high percentage of people selected. Not saying that means we're better or anything, just based on the algorithm, I guess. We got more selections, or a higher number. But yeah, a couple years ago, I remember that I looked at the immigration history and I was like, dang it, I wish we had a YouTube channel or Instagram where I could share this information, let people know in advance that you need a pre-plan, basically, right? So that's what we do. And with our team, if you have a strategy session with us or consultation, we're happy to pretty much customize the action plan for you, a legal action plan, so you know exactly what to do when that time comes. Because if you wait too long, you might lose out on that chance, right? So we could have in the scenario of because OPT is 2 years, you have you most likely, depending on timing, you might have 2 chances at this H-1B registration. Okay, and so you need to have a bona fide job offer ultimately for this H-1B. You're not supposed to have just a buddy sponsor you, but you need to have a formal job offer. But registration in March, they don't ask for that document. That's later on for step 2. All right. So, and by the way, folks, if you are trying to do the master's exemption, just a hot tip here, that master's has to be based out of America, a schooling in America. It cannot be from a foreign school outside America for the master's degree. The bachelor's degree, it can be from a university or college outside America. So that's just a key distinction there that you might need to know, so it can save you some time. Okay. Or even future planning. If you're in America now and you have a bachelor's, but you want to extend your F1 status and getting a master's, then at least that's a peace of mind. Rosemary asked, how can we find sponsorship work visa? There's a website called h1bgrader.com that has a list of companies who have sponsored for H1B. Everything in immigration is public information, technically, so because it's going through government agency. So I think that's how this company found it. But the one I checked like a month ago, the top companies or tech companies, and as you all know, that there's been tech layoffs. A lot of people have been laid off. Of course, it doesn't disclose if a percentage of them are immigrants or foreign nationals, but I would suspect that a lot of people, as part of that tech layoff, were immigrants, H-1B holders. So you just got to keep that in mind in the climate of the economics climate, I guess you could say. Let's see here. So keep looking at that website. I'll drop a link of that after the show, so you have direct access to it. Let's see. Here to answer any questions. Y'all shy today, maybe because I'm a little late than normal. I usually go at 12 o'clock Central. But I was on that call with the client about the whole situation of being visa refusal. So it's ridiculous. Yeah, people, good morning. Good morning, Hister. People ask me, if you have a case delayed or you don't know if your case has been delayed past the normal processing times, let us know. Give us a call. Our number's in the description on YouTube. It's right up here. But don't assume because, for example, if you go to USCIS website and it has you look for the waiver 601A, it'll say 34 plus months. It keeps increasing every time I check, like every week. And then, but that doesn't mean you should wait to file your lawsuit after 34 months or whatever it says on the processing timetable. And of course, it doesn't mean that you file anytime you want. It's not just like 1 month after you file the application. There's we call a reasonableness standard or unreasonable standard, unreasonable delay. So keep that in mind. But yeah, give us a call or answer a couple of questions on our website to fill out the form, and we're happy to point you in the right direction to see if it is possible. But the most common question on this people have is, if I file a lawsuit against the government, will there be a negative decision to you? Typically, no. And I say that because when you file a lawsuit, they're not supposed to retaliate against you. they're not supposed to retaliate against you. But your case could result in denial, but not because of the lawsuit. It could be because, like in the situation I mentioned earlier in the top of the show, about the Chinese national client, he just got the visa refusal, like literally less than a week after this freaking balloon incident. So it's just ridiculous. Very unfortunate for him. There's possible options for him afterwards, but yeah, that's probably not going to happen in your case. If you have a case delay, most likely not. Knock on wood. Yeah, hopefully that gives you information. Hipster, you asked, where can we find cases related to your cases? Is there a library that anyone can access? Let's see here. So your case, you mean like a government library? What do you, or my website? You mean like the uscs.gov website? If you can follow up on that comment. I guess you mean like stories about similar cases. I think you did file a case, Hipster, if I remember from the past. Let me know if you did. Okay. I think you did. Let me know what kind of case you have, and if you want me to check the processing time. I don't know if that's what you're actually asking specifically, but happy to check it out. I don't mind doing things like that because, if you call a law firm, they might think, well, obviously we ask you how may we help you, and if you ask, well, how do I check the case status? I don't think anyone's going to give you a time of day, unfortunately, and that's why I go live. I think it process wise, it's most law firms, they just want to schedule you for consultation. We understand you might not want to do that quickly, but we're here to help you, right? So that's why I go live to answer these kind of processing times, things like that. It's pretty ridiculous, the long wait time. But the main thing is to know that there is a possibility, okay? Please know that you're not the only one. Your case is delayed, but that there is an option for you. In very limited situations, there might not be any option for you, but for the most part, there is an option, and that is to sue the government. And some people think that, can I submit an inquiry? Well, because of the way the processing timetables is, you might not even be allowed to submit an inquiry. In fact, the website stops you. It's pretty impressive in that sense that the government has that kind of database to do that, which is really surprising. But you might also ask, well, should I submit an inquiry to congressperson, your elected official? You could, but in reality, you might wait a couple months, and the result is they might give you an update, but that's all they're going to do is give you an update. That doesn't mean submitting an inquiry to the congressperson is going to push your case to the next step. So that's the key difference, okay, folks? And some people ask, like they're reading blogs, you have to, we call this legal phrase, exhaust your remedy. I've never had a U.S. attorney say, hey, you didn't submit an inquiry to a congressperson or submit an inquiry to USCIS. I think for the most part, our clients have already done that anyway because they've waited so long. and they've tried that, and it doesn't matter. It's okay. As long as your timing that you waited in general has been an unreasonable amount of time. Okay. So give us a call again. All right. Hipster, you said, I would like to study cases related or study to one subject that show pros and cons of how to present a case. Um, I don't know. That's usually what we call like CLEs, continuing legal education. I don't know if you can like buy that if you're not a member of an organization or like a bar association. Um, Happy to point you in the right direction if possible. If you want to DM, have a better idea and a direct message, what kind of subject you're talking about. I'm assuming it's not necessarily immigration related. So let's see, Rose. What are the conditions for adjusting the case status if you say he? So I'm guessing someone you know is if he has a pending asylum case. Okay, I guess you'd be like, what are the steps? Excuse me. And then finds an EB3 employer sponsor for unskilled worker. Okay, so yeah, I have a YouTube video about this. I think sometime maybe 2 years ago by now. It's kind of higher level. It didn't go into full detail about that, but you for most people in this situation, 99.9% is that yes, although filing the asylum application, if you filed it timely within 1 year of entry or after your non-immigrant or before your non-immigrant visa expired, then it stops what we call unlawful presence. Unlawful presence is one issue, but when you go, if you were to have the 485 interview or you don't have the interview, they waive most interviews for employment based anyway. They could send you a letter saying RFE or even denial, but maybe RFE saying, please provide evidence that you have maintained your status. Okay. And that's because EB is considered like a preference category, and preference categories require maintaining status. Having your unlawful presence stop does not mean you have been maintaining status. And I know some people say, well, my visa expired and my non-immigrant work visa expired. It was not my fault. Yes, the government will complain and say it's your fault, but that's not the legal standard. It doesn't matter whose fault it is. Okay. It just matters that whether you fail to maintain status or not. Okay. So with that being said, yes, the person you're referring to can get EB, but it won't be in the United States. Some people have an intellectual debate with me, and I think that's cool. But to be honest, I don't have that much time to do that. And they find cases and things like that. I'm always happy, or our team's always happy to look at it because at the end of the day, we're all trying to help each other. So I'm always happy to look at it. But sometimes people who share information very detailed, I don't know if it's nature because I like to overshare that people overshare with me. But I tell people after reviewing what they sent me that it's not relevant to the legal issue. So, and then people say, "Oh, I heard someone else, my friend, someone got a green card through EB3 and they applied for asylum and they didn't have to leave." Okay, well that's great, but then ask your friend, ask your buddy, what exactly happened? Did they actually have to leave? Like, what was the circumstances? And then when I ask that question, they don't reply back. So what I'm trying to say is that not trying to give anyone a hard time. I think that it's just that when people ask me these questions about us getting status after filing asylum, a status through like a company, that that you think that some people think that having this intellectual debate with me, you're like trying to force me to say yes to you. I'm not a yes man. Okay, that's not how it works. Okay, I go based on the law. So if you do share the law, I'm happy to look at it. But the point is that I can't just because even if I were to say yes, it doesn't matter. The USCIS might not agree with me, right? So that's why we try to be as transparent as possible about this stuff. Anu, good afternoon. All right, thanks, Hipster. You'll DM. What's up, Anu? Good afternoon. Anu, did you text us the other day? If I recall, I asked you to text us because I think you contacted our team before. You maybe have kind of consult before. Um, so yeah, sorry, I was looking at my phone. I shouldn't do that on live show. My other phone. Which, by the way, I tried to return. Okay. Okay, you spoke. You spoke to them. Yeah, you spoke with one of us. Okay. Did you text us recently, Anu? Um, I don't know if Anu's your real name on social, or I mean, real name compared to YouTube. But I couldn't find you in our system before, so because I think there was something I wanted to share with you specifically. That's why I'm asking. Um, anyways, oh, only a little bit. So probably for that 15 within a week. A new. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'll check that out. I'll check the system real quick. Okay, I'll check the system later on. Um, okay. Let's see. Any questions? Any questions? All right. Instagram, we're clear on that one. YouTube, how are we doing on YouTube? Any questions? Let's see here. Man, are you like me? I got a lot of browsers on my computer. I need to close out. There we go. I got two monitors. Okay, there we go. Anu, you got a question. All right, I'll probably wrap it up with this question, folks, and then I'm going to share more information tomorrow about this Chinese national case, and I'll need your help. So stay tuned. I'll try to go live at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, Anu, your question is, if U visa was filed in America and approved for 4 years, can I travel to India and on return get it stamped like we do with H-1B? What you want to do is get a 131, apply for 131, okay, as a precaution. I think that's very important when you're on a U visa. Okay, and but which, by the way, tip right here. Okay, well, I think your U visa has not been approved. Which, by the way, there are some people filing lawsuits on U visa, but it really depends on the timing, because they're supposed to take at least 5 years. Unfortunately, because of there's only 10,000 U visas allowed per year because of Congress. There's Congress again thinking that there has to be a limit on the number of visas allowed for U visa. And if you're not familiar, U visa is based on been a victim of a crime or abuse, for example. So, can you travel? Did I answer your question? Can I travel to? Yeah. Not that I'm aware of. I haven't heard that you have to get like an actual stamp, like go to the consulate, if that's what you mean. And yeah, if that's the case, then that's better, because like the client I was just talking to, or the client I was just talking about earlier at the top of the show, that his H-1B was approved, but then they didn't issue the visa. They didn't freaking put it in the passport. They made him wait a year, and they got visa refused. So it's just ridiculous. Um, yeah, it's really ridiculous, really unfortunate. So that's why that's another reason going live, just sharing information. And I always like to share my source if I have time to do that. And if I don't, ask me, because you could be making a big decision based on something I say, and I hope you don't without talking with a lawyer specifically. Okay. But anyways, I have just so much information to share. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. We do offer free 15 minutes preliminary discussion, consultation, maybe point you in the right direction. You have to click on our website, go to our website, greencardguys.com, click on take a quiz. And, our cares team will let you know if you're qualified for consultation, because sometimes our team can email you a free guide, and that probably answer your question. So save you some time. But if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can see that we offer free guides on our website, greencardguys.com. You can scroll down and click on a free guide. The most popular one is about mandamus as the solution to get your case moving again when it's stuck. All right, folks. And yeah, I see your question, Anu. Okay. Yeah, if yes, if that's If that's the reason people don't travel much, if working with smaller, it's easier to get H-1B with I-94 USA, but they repeat everything again. Yep, it's ridiculous. This whole H-1B visa stamping is ridiculous. They should just give the visa while you're in America. Okay, they should make that available. If I were in charge, if I were elected, that'd be on my wish list to have Congress add that in the immigration reform. It's all these, I don't want to call it little, but it's like all these items that need to be changed together. Like they need to lift the 10,000 visa cap for U visas. I just think it's ridiculous. All right, well, Anu, thank you so much for asking that question. All right, folks, until next time, which I guess tomorrow, take care now. Bye bye.